Welcome to day 21 and 22 of my 30-day hobby challenge. And this time I'm trying crocheting again, but this time I'm gonna use a beginner-friendly yarn because my last attempt last weekend failed because the yarn was so poor. So this time I ordered a new kit and I choose one that definitely say a beginner-friendly yarn. So this kit includes everything you need, like you have all the yarn. The hook is also bigger than my last one because someone said in a comment I should use a bigger hook. So you have all like the markers and needles and eyes for the two axolotls and the stuffing. And this kit came also with a ring, like a yarn ring, that wasn't also included in the last kit. So maybe this is also gonna help me. Let's take a closer look at the yarn. So this one is much bigger and fluffier. It's also hollow in the middle, but it's like one big string. So it's easy to get it through the loop and everything because I'm going to show you the old yarn. It was made of these multiple strings, like as you can see here. And if I tried to crochet with it, the hook always would get stuck in between and it was so hard to pull like the whole thread through the loop. So for me as a beginner it was impossible to work with this kind of yarn. That's why I chose to try out a new kit with a beginner friendly yarn, and as soon as it arrived I tried out a few test stitches and it was already so much easier for me to see like the single stitches, which made me so motivated. And here is all the instructions that came with it. It wasn't printed out, but it was a link to a website, and on the website I have like all the YouTube tutorials. It was really well explained and really detailed. And this was my setup, so I had my tablet in front of me and then I tried to crochet along with the videos. The pattern started with a magic ring, and I've heard a lot about magic ring and apparently it's very difficult, but I thought it wasn't that hard at all. Maybe it was because it was so well explained in the video, but I managed to do a magic ring on my first attempt, and then I just had to adjust the size, and then you had to do single stitches. And again, it was really easy to follow the video, but I did made one mistake. I had one stitch less than I should have had, so I had to start over again, but this was the only time I had to start over. From there it was going rather smoothly and I made really good progress. I've learned how to do an increase stitch, and then I did a couple of rows doing increasing the stitches, and this is how it looks like a couple of rows into the project. For my very first crocheting attempt, I'm really happy with how it looks. I mean, I have a few kind of bigger holes in it because keeping the same tension all the time is the biggest struggle for me, but I think that's just normal. From that point on, I was really having fun. It wasn't quite the same kind of relaxing as, say, diamond painting because I had to stay much more focused and even count my stitches. But honestly, that focus helped me forget all my stress and worries. It was like my brain didn't have space for anything else, so it wasn't that meditative, but still really good for me. Now you can really see the shape it's supposed to have, and now it's already time to insert the eyes. After that, it was time to start decreasing the stitches and closing up the figure, leaving just enough space to stuff it with the filling before sealing it completely. Up in the right left corner, you can see my little yellow note sheet. I wrote down the pattern and the repetitions, and I checked off each one as I finished it. That really helped me stay organized and keep track of which type of stitch I needed to do next. Now that the body is done, it's time to start with all the little details. The first thing I did was crocheting the little white belly for the figure, and after I crocheted it, it was time to sew it on the body. This is what it looks like now. It's so cute already. Now what's missing is like the little ears and hands, and this is what I'm going to do next. I need 2 hands and 6 ears, and then I have to sew them on the body as well. Here's what it looks like with one side done. Now I have to do the other side, and last but not least, I'm gonna do the little mouse. And here it is, my very first crochet project. It looks so much better than I expected. I'm really happy with it. and it's so cute, and I'm gonna do the pink one tomorrow. It's the next day now, and I'm gonna do the exact same pattern as I did yesterday. I'm just gonna use the pink yarn instead of the blue one. At first I found it a bit tricky to get back into the rhythm, but after the first 4 or 5 rounds I was back on track. I didn't even need the video tutorials anymore and just follow the pattern. I think I'm really seeing some improvement here. Maybe it's just my opinion, but my stitches are more consistent, I think, and closer together now. Because of that, the figure turned out a bit smaller, but the stuffing doesn't show through the stitches as much, which is a big plus. I also skipped the wing this time because I noticed yesterday that it is actually easier for me to work without it. It helps me keep better tension on the yarn. And once the body was finished, I just had to add the details. First the belly, then the ears. Or are they fins? I'm not really sure. I have to say, this kit is so much easier to work with than my first crochet kit, which was supposedly also for beginners. The yarn makes a huge difference here. It's much easier to handle and the stitches are way easier to see. This made the whole process so much more enjoyable, and I finished the second figure pretty quickly. I can't wait to crochet even more. With a bit more experience, I might go back and try the first kit again someday. But for this weekend, I'm really happy with what I've accomplished, and these two turned out so cute.